What's going on? This is David from Pier with another Zeitgeist game review. Today we're talking about Atomfall, the latest game from Rebellion Developments. Let's get into it. Atomfall is a survival mystery game based on the real-life wind-scale nuclear disaster of 1957 in the United Kingdom. In this reimagining of events, players wake up with no memory in a quarantine zone years after a mysterious disaster at the wind-scale plant and are tasked with unraveling the truth behind the cover-up while battling outlaws, cultists, rogue soldiers, and more. There's a lot about Atomfall to appreciate. It's vibrant, colorful, and pleasing to look at, which took me by surprise. Typically, dystopian apocalyptic settings aren't beautiful, but Atomfall is. The difficulty settings have a level of customizability I've never seen before. Combat, survival, and exploration can all be independently set to varying levels along with subcategories to tailor the experience to each player, or you can go with one of 5 settings suggested by Rebellion. There's a steep learning curve to start off at the default setting, where everything is challenging. The game doesn't hold your hand, but it also doesn't leave you clueless. A handful of features that initially bothered me became easier to manage throughout the experience, and I eventually recognized them as things that set this game apart. The limited inventory makes resource management vital, and the lack of fast travel makes the focus on the gradually unlocked hub area reminiscent of a Metroidvania or Soulsborne game. Atomfall is short and sweet, and I love a game that respects my time. One example of how the game does this is through environmental storytelling. Not only is the history of Atomfall told in the details around you, but much of how you progress is based on reading notes found throughout the game. Other games would make notes like this long, and deciphering the important information in them would be a slog, but the messages here are short and to the point. You can figure out what you need to do, but you also aren't beaten over the head with blatant direction. We explore a small world, but it's packed with detail that's often easy to overlook. I didn't realize how much I had missed until I reached the end of the game and discovered how differently events could have played out if I had made other choices or focused on different characters. It makes for an exciting, pulse-pounding game, particularly during the final moments. I will say that Rebellion took a bit of a simple, bare-bones approach here. A few things are missing from Atomfall that players might expect from this kind of game, such as armor or companions. There's a pretty basic skill tree that takes longer than it should to level up, and many of the upgrades feel insignificant, which is both good and bad. While it may not feel like you're getting stronger, improving in Atomfall is all about learning how the game works rather than brute forcing your way through. Some of the biggest problems with Atomfall are related to the story. It could have used a more focused, centralized narrative rather than what amounts to a loose collection of tangents that end up in the same place. It also lacks satisfying answers to some of the game's bigger questions. The experience would have benefited from exploring tones other than the extremely one-note, tense desperation that permeates Atomfall, even if it does create many memorable moments. If those issues were addressed, this could be a near-perfect game. I had a lot of fun with Atomfall, much more than I was expecting. It's like Fallout and Bioshock had a baby and raised it in northern England, yet it manages to be distinct and memorable while making its influences clear. And while it may simplify a few too many things and cut the odd corner, it still amounts to a complete, satisfying game. That's why Atomfall gets a strong 4 out of 5. If you played Atomfall, what did you think? What game should I play next? Let me know with a comment down below.